Morning all. How the devil? I'm loving life today. This story is comedy gold. I was absolutely howling. And it gets even worse because there's screen caps from it. But this guy, Jeffrey Toobin, right? He's known for bashing Trump. He's always bashing him, having a go every chance he gets. Well, he doesn't just bash Trump. He bashes his bishop during meetings. By the way, what type of sexual deviant scum pulls himself off while he's having a chinwag with his colleagues? I do not understand it. Why doesn't he just do what a normal person does? Wait for work to end and then lube himself up and fling himself round his bedroom. That's what I like to do. Most weekends, when the missus is away, you know. I'm kidding. I'm 40 and I'm married. It's basically fossilised at this point. Anyway, here's the story. Jeffrey Toobin masturbating in front of New Yorker bigs. Report says, my eyes say, and they are still bleeding. In fact, it caused almost total system shutdown. I'm bleeding out of my arse, my eyeballs and my ears from seeing the photographs.
Sean, an unsettling incident involving CNN's chief legal analyst now off the...
Unsettling. That's wonderful. Mainstream news understatement. Unsettling, unzipping, unleashing the beast.
...air for allegedly pleasuring himself on a Zoom video call. Jeffrey Toobin, who's also a staff writer for The New Yorker, was suspended by the magazine for masturbating during the call last week with other New Yorker employees and WNYC radio staff watching, according to Vice News, which reports the incident came during a drill for election coverage. Vice says when the groups returned from their breakout rooms, Toobin lowered the camera. The people on the call said they could see Toobin touching himself. Toobin then left the call. Moments later, he called back in, seemingly unaware of what his colleagues had been able to see. New Yorker magazine.
How good's that? He was like, he popped back up. All right, lads, how's it going? And they're all like, sat there, fucking open-mouthed, soy face. Yeah, because it's the New Yorker. It'd have been 50 cases of soy face while he sat there dabbing the crusty spunk off his fucking guts, off his big fat gut.
Told Fox News Jeffrey Toobin has been suspended while we investigate the matter. And in a statement to Motherboard, Toobin said, quote, I made an embarrassingly stupid mistake believing I was off camera. I apologize to my wife, family, friends, and coworkers. I believed I was not visible on Zoom. I thought no one on the Zoom call could see me. I thought I had muted the Zoom video. It's unclear if or when Toobin will appear on CNN again. The network says it granted Toobin some time off at his request while he, quote, deals with a personal issue. Sean.
Deals with a personal issue? What, you mean a pathological addiction to fucking choking the chicken? Pulling the fucking head off it while you're talking to your boss? What a sick freak. And these are the people who first chance to get called Trump all these names. Like, what did he do? What's Trump really done that's bizarre? Like, he's a billionaire and women throw themselves at him and he fucks a lot of them. Now, it's not seemly when you're a married man and you shouldn't do it, but I'm assuming, you know, habits of a lifetime die hard. None of us know till we've been tested, do we? It's easy for us to sit there and be judgmental, but who knows? I mean, imagine if every single way you go, young women were trying to bang you all the time. Even, I've always been a fucking good husband because I was sensible and did all my shagging between the age of about 18 to 30, and then I settled down and got married when I was like 35, like sensible people do. Yeah. Put it about a bit when you're a young lad, get out your system. But you never know. I mean, if I was minding my own business, went to go for a piss in a fucking local Red Robin and literally turned the corner and the waitress is like, you want me to suck your balls? Probably quite hard to say no. So I do try not to be a judgmental person in life in general, which is why I'm a splendid liberal chap that doesn't really try to be judgmental about the way people live their lives if that doesn't affect mine. But none of us can really know until we've been tested. So Trump, alright, he screws porn stars and young attractive women who are 30, 40 years his junior. Who knows? Who knows? We've never been through that crucible, have we? Not condoning it, but it's not the end of the world, is it? He doesn't do anything weird. He doesn't fuck kids. But we better not go down that route. YouTube doesn't like you when you discuss these things. When you discuss things that are common as fucking dog shit with liberal lefty politicians. Well, they're not even liberal, are they? Illiberal authoritarian politicians that claim to be left-wing. When you talk about things they're into, you get banned off social media. So I better not talk about it. Suffice it to say, these scumbags love to talk shit about him. But look at the sick shit they get up to behind closed doors. Who even knows, right? Who even knows? I bet we don't even know the half of it. I bet the ones who talk wax lyrical about, oh yeah, he paid some prozzies to piss on him, even though that was completely unfounded and there was no evidence for it. Although I know that Twitter and Facebook were quite happy to see that get shared everywhere, weren't they? Weren't they? Weird that, isn't it? Weird. Almost like there's a ridiculously hypocritical double standard, isn't it? But yeah, you know for a fact the ones that slag him off the loudest and the longest have probably got fucking little girls chained to the fucking radiator in the basement. Or, you know, they'll get caught frottering themselves up against a cabinet. Or banging a sheep or something. Ramming a lamb. Who knows what these sick freaks get up to. Anyway, in fact, you know what? I can't even show you the photo. It's funny as, but I can't show you. So there's full-on photo of, like, the Zoom meeting. Everyone horrified. This fat little fucking pot-bellied midget covered in spunk. Like, they're out there. Find it yourselves. It's fucking sick. But my God. One other thing I want to talk about, because it didn't really get covered that much by the mainstream media, and it should have been. Man arrested over a leak of Kim Darrock's cables criticising Trump. This is a big deal, and I swear it was hard to find. You Google his name, you don't find too much. The Times, the New York Post, and the Guardian. That's about it. Nothing on the BBC. Nothing. You know, nothing. None of the big mainstream Sky News, Channel 4, the BBC, etc. They don't want to cover it because they don't want you to know. But the short version is they're forcing me once again to sort of side with the conspiracy theorists, aren't they? Because at this point, yet again, it seems as if you can't even call them the liberals or the liberal elites or the neoliberals or anything else nowadays. It really is like the globalists, because it's a bipartisan thing, isn't it? We've got a nakedly partisan sort of House of Commons, House of Lords and civil service. And they work against Trump because he's a populist. Maybe that is what it is. Maybe it is populists versus globalists. Maybe that's the terms we should use, because it's, you know, most of the Republican Party and the Democrats, to a man, didn't want Trump to win, did they? It's not just the Democrats. It's populists versus globalists, and they're all fighting these battles behind closed doors. This is a big deal, which is so you can see why the BBC didn't cover it. But the story is, Kim Darrock is the British ambassador to the United States, not a small, trivial position. And a bloke who leaked a ton of damaging cables which was sent to London by the ambassador. Do you remember that, when we were all giving Trump shit about it, saying, haha, we've got him again. Everyone thinks he's a cunt. It was all done on purpose. Well, we knew for a fact it was, didn't we, at the time? But the man's believed to be a civil servant at the Department for International Trade, arrested Tuesday after a 15-month inquiry appeared to have gone cold. Well, it only went cold because they had to find a fall guy, right? Because if you don't think this went right to the very top and Kim Darrock himself was behind it, well, you need to take your fucking head for a shit. You need to give it a good shake and get all the cobwebs and sawdust and dog shit out of it, because it was Kim Darrock. It went right to the top. He's a globalist. Trump's a populist. It's beyond party lines. We know what's gone on. That Lord Darrock was forced to quit as ambassador in July 2019 after his confidential cables criticising Trump's chaotic presidency and claiming he radiated insecurity were leaked. Leaked. You mean handed to the media on a fucking silver platter? 3 days after the man's arrest, the reporter that received the original leak published fresh allegations in The Sun claiming Darrock had been investigated by the US Justice Department for handing over sensitive information to a CNN reporter covering the US State Department. So the short version is, yeah, Darrock fucking gave the info to CNN, right? It's not in any doubt. Michelle says, Kosinski, CNN reporter, said there is a great deal wrong and simply false about what is being reported in some right-wing tabloids right now. A so-called leak found no such leak in bollocks. Do you believe that? So where did it come from then? Did you miracle it out of fucking thin air? What did you do? Pull it out of your ass? Where did it come from? Kaczynski said her information on a possible meeting between US officials and the North Korean dictator came from inside Trump's circle. Bollocks, she no longer works for CNN. So listen, once again, I've talked about it loads. Just be under no illusions. These are strange times. It's not about your party, which is why I've abandoned all of them in the UK. I will never vote for the Conservatives ever again. We need a new option, or I'll happily sit and let some fucking communists in Downing Street come 2024, and they can spend 4 years completely decimating the country, and then we'll get it back at the end of that time, right? Nothing's forever, but I'm not voting for them anymore. I'm not playing this two-party game. We need a populist in the UK. We need our own version of fucking Trump, whether Farage might be the man, right? He's pals with him. Rebrand the Brexit Party, relaunch it as a centre-right, common sense, liberal, and most importantly, extremely patriotic party. Throw out all the fucking communists. Get rid of all the critical race theory they're teaching to the military. The military, like the fucking Air Force. Have you seen all those leaks? We've even got a fucking diversity and inclusion on the British Army website. They're spending the time training British soldiers, indoctrinating them in Marxist ideology. I mean, it really is beyond a joke, but this is just more proof of what I'm talking about. We need a new option in the UK. Patriotic, centrist, common sense politicians and leaders that are going to dismantle the fucking nakedly partisan House of Lords, civil servants, and any of these globalist twats who are in thrall of the European Union, who are as bent as an £8 note. Oh yeah, and most importantly, bulldoze fucking broadcasting house and deny the BBC ever existed, because that is a cancer on the bollocks of humanity, that fucking organisation. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. The first half of that video was much more amusing than the second, so I like to swing between comedy gold and serious political commentary, you know, on a whim. And nothing says comedy like watching a little fat dwarf pull himself off in front of all of his colleagues. That's me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys very soon. Cheers.